AT&T Stadium in Houston. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll field. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
After seeing what he did last week, throwing 4 touchdown passes, I had to go to my thesaurus to try and come up with some great words for what he did. I'm still coming up blank. He was scintillating.
I'm going simple. I don't have your thesaurus. I'm going dynamite. He was dynamite.
I'll take it.
Here's Garoppolo to throw it. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
It may be cliche, but it is something that holds up over time, doesn't it? If you're the visitors, you don't want to let the crowd in the game early.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did there. But you said also this defense, they're going to give them a lot of looks like we just saw there, aren't they?
They certainly are. They're a proud unit, and they're going to ride the momentum of this crowd with them, and that's why they got after them early.
So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early second down and long. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Not a great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. He finds his man complete. That's Jacobs. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now on play fake. Garoppolo. Pressure comes and down he goes. Sheldon Rankins busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? He'll look to throw. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Moore. And the Texans are going to get it back here just past the 35.
I really don't think you can fault the decision-making here because your offensive quarterback, they really had a big week last week, and you're ready for them to go again here. Not the anticipated result, of course, but you definitely understand why they did what they did. That quarterback's been hot. You want to keep the ball in his hands and see if he can keep the magic going.
So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
Meanwhile, Garoppolo's throw into the hands of Hooper. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. The numbers in last week's game for Hooper. 5 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. Denzel Perryman there to bring him down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. To throw is Garoppolo. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And the Texans are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands. And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
First run of the game here for Dameon Pierce. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Another carry for Pierce. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for this with Singletary. And some room to run now. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 38. Now they'll switch. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. On play action, they'll throw. Right side, complete to Mechie. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. First and 10, it's Pierce. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
So 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. They'll look to throw here. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 9 now. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Noah Brown, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. His first career touchdown pass, and it's cliche to say, but he's probably been envisioning this since he was a little kid. That's a cool moment.
It really is. So enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, celebrate, save the full reflection for later, but make sure you grab someone on the sidelines and say, hey, make sure I get that football, okay?
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. After 7-0 on EA Sports. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Now Garoppolo. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jacobs. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. Throw left side complete. That's Adams. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 29-yard line. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. That catch, by the way, kind of noteworthy. It's number 764 in his career. Ties him with Hall of Famer James Lofton.
And he's done it just as James Lofton did in his career. Smooth.
On 1st down, Garoppolo. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
And he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Another try after the first down sack. Garoppolo. And this one is incomplete. Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Carl Nassib shooting in and taking him to the ground. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. So here are the Texans to take over. They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Got this into the hands of the tight end, Jordan. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. On 2nd down, here's Pierce.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. The Texans on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
The Texans at a disappointing 0-4 through the first month of the year. Yeah, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since they've had a W. They have dropped 4 in a row.
Let me tell you, when you go a month, partner, in this league without a victory, it gets tough to come to work every day. And in addition, you start to wonder about your job security as well.
And they'll go right back to Pierce. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line.
15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the latter there. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and first down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory, right at the 40. They'll run out of the gun with Singletary. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, sometimes a thing of beauty.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. He finds his target. It's Schultz.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Looking to throw. And this is caught. It's Brown. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 23 yards, the final tally.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open.
They'll run here with Pierce.
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Again, it's Pierce, but he will go backwards as he's stopped for a loss.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Noah Brown with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Texans have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October, because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started. At the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season. And, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and, boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for him.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Garoppolo on first down. Caught outright by Renfro. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him.
Welcome back, everyone, to NRG Stadium in Houston. It's the Raiders in possession. And yet again, it's Garoppolo. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 16, Garoppolo. Renfro bringing it in over the middle. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2nd and 4. They could still get a first down without scoring. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Garoppolo looks to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Austin Hooper. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling.
I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it's capped off by the Austin Hooper touchdown. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Texans going to get the football one final time here in this first half. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Got a man. It's Brown. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. They'll throw now on the final play. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And that one just before halftime with the Jaguars out on top. Trevor Lawrence with a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, we head to the Big Apple. More specifically,
message received here. No need to wait. We're going to skip halftime and get right back to the action. Here comes the 3rd quarter. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. And the Texans getting ready to go here to begin the 3rd quarter. The 3rd quarter starts with a run by Singletary. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Back to throw. He's got his man, Schultz, coming across the formation. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 27 yards there, a first down.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 44-yard line. Now a throw here, hauled in. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Rolling to his left. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. And the return will stop right around the 25. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities. And this is a good one right in front of them.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 2nd down, Jacobs once more. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw is Garoppolo. Going for the deep ball. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Garoppolo. Slant to Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route, and the quarterback hit him mid-stride. He was able to run free after the catch.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 45-yard line. Here's Garoppolo to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Garoppolo again. The open man here, Renfro. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 34-yard line. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Now a play fake. Garoppolo. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. On 2nd down, Jacobs. Able to slither by. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 43 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes it's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll go up the middle with White. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. This is caught and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A very important third down conversion right there, because when you're trailing and find yourself this deep in enemy territory, the kicker's not even part of your thought process. You got to make it pay off with 6. Nice connection right there to set up 1st and goal.
2nd down and 3 with right around 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. 3's all around. Jacobs fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard. That's all. Down to the 2. Jacobs again. Trying to find a lane, but he finds nothing but defenders. Stop for no gain at the 2-yard line. They'll run with Jacobs. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches. The kick by Carlson is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. Well, the 3 points certainly helps, but you feel like, Charles, at this stage of the game, when you force those turnovers, you need to start converting them into touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself, because I thought in this situation they were thinking end zone or bust. Now they got to rely on their defense to get the ball back again for another opportunity to get 6 points.
And now out comes Houston. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely, because remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They're going to... Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Taken from just outside the 30. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Showing off the quick feet that time and getting forward for a pickup of 3 yards. On 2nd and 7, Garoppolo. That's complete into the hands of Myers. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Jacobs going to try the middle. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 59 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Garoppolo's throw complete here, pulled in by Howard. And they'll work this down inside the 30. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Open man is Myers. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 17-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now Garoppolo. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Davante Adams. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Well, quite the comeback here. They have erased that deficit, pushed themselves out in front now here in this 4th quarter.
Well, this game's kind of felt like a horse race, hasn't it, partner? Because, yeah, the other guys run out to their big lead, but then slowly and surely, they've been creeping up and closing that gap. Now they've stuck ahead in front here late in the game. The finish line's not far away. They need their defense to finish this thing off.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 17-14. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This one taken just inside the 10. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. They go again with Pierce. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that first down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Brown. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. This is caught. It's Woods. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 36. Give them 17 on the pickup there. The Texans also get a new set of downs.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 36. Back to throw again. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Goodwin. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he'll be brought down at the 27. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. They'll look to throw again. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Max Crosby in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
So a big one coming here for Ka'imi Fairbairn. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have the kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Raiders now set to get the football back. And we essentially have a brand-new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 81 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
Here we go. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Garoppolo looks to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down. Running straight ahead is Jacobs, and he'll get it down here to the 43. That one a 1st down pickup of 8. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43. Meanwhile, Garoppolo's throw pulled in by Renfro. To throw is Garoppolo. Open man right side, Myers. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Very sharp here to start this drive, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I like the way he's running this 2-minute drill. Very sharp, very precise in throwing the football.
Running it with Jacobs. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. They run it with Jacobs. And he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for the lead in the final stages. The kick by Carlson is good. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. So now the Texans down 20-17, a minute 7 remaining. Well, their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on first down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And this will be incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw. And that's complete to Brown. And they work this well upfield across the 45. First down now, but that clock rolling. This will be caught once again by Brown. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down. This for all the marbles. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, they got the tip they were looking for, but couldn't secure it. And this one's over. Well, Charles, we were treated to an excellent game today, capped off by that second-half comeback. This was a joy to watch.
Entertaining for us. Not so much to the team who led at halftime and now is leaving here.
It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. The Washington Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. With the next selection, the Falcons are on the clock. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are now on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Washington Commanders. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. The Los Angeles Rams now on the clock. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. The Washington Commanders are now on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. With the next selection, the Falcons are on the clock. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are now on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Washington Commanders. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. The Los Angeles Rams now on the clock. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. The Washington Commanders are now on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. With the next selection, the Falcons are on the clock. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. The Denver Broncos are now on the clock. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Washington Commanders. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. The Los Angeles Rams now on the clock. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. The Washington Commanders are now on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. With the next selection, the Falcons are on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Washington Commanders. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams now on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. The Denver Broncos are now on the clock. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. The clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. The Washington Commanders are now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Washington Commanders. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. On the clock now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. The Denver Broncos are on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams now on the clock. The Baltimore Ravens are on the clock now. The Denver Broncos are now on the clock. Next up, the Titans are on the clock. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. It's the Dallas Cowboys now on the clock. With the next selection, the Falcons are on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock. The Washington Commanders are now on the clock. Now the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. The Dallas Cowboys are now on the clock. The Colts now on the clock. It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Denver Broncos. On the clock now, the Baltimore Ravens. On the clock now, the Los Angeles Rams. With the next selection, the Lions are on the clock. It's the Detroit Lions now on the clock. Now on the clock, the Rams. The Baltimore Ravens now on the clock. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. It's now the Indianapolis Colts selection. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. It's the Atlanta Falcons now on the clock. On the clock now, the Seattle Seahawks. With the next selection, it's the Washington Commanders. Next up, the Commanders are on the clock. Next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Atlanta Falcons. The Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Tennessee Titans. Next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. With the next selection, the Ravens are on the clock. The Los Angeles Rams are up. They're on the clock. On the clock now, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions now on the clock.